Welcome back to Kung Fu Havoc number 2, and I want to talk about my comparisons of Hercules. As you can see, these are both the Marvel versions of Hercules. Now, in this, they pretty much kept Hercules kind of low-key and dense, like they said he was in Greek mythology. And I think in the DC version, he's a little bit more intelligent. And it's the same thing, like I said, when these comic books do a lot of things, a lot of them also do like movie versions of comic books. And for those who know or who don't know, there is, and I did a video on this, I believe, there is a movie called Buckaroo Banzai, and he's played by Peter Weller, and his character is supposed to be half Japanese and half white. I don't remember which parent was which, but I don't really think they got into specifics on that because it takes place in the future, and it was really all about that badass car that Buckaroo Banzai was driving. So, if you're into that kind of thing, you want to check it out. Marvel has many comic books that they have turned from movies into comic books and TV series. Because I also touched on this the other day about Star Trek. I don't think I brought any of those up here. They may be on the other video. I won't swear to it, but both Marvel and DC have touched on Star Trek and Star Wars and have turned them from movies into comic books. So you should probably Google them if you want to find them, see how you like them. I'm a Star Trek fan, so I don't really care which one was better. I just like Star Trek. You know, live long and prosper. I would love to be on Star Trek, but what I really like is to be an advisor at Marvel movies because I have such great source material. I have like 9 or 10 boxes, nothing but comic books. But I'm also a big fan. I'm also an out-of-work actor who can use a job, and I would love to play a character on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., even if it's just for one episode, you know, as long as my character is Native American, though. I don't want to play the token black guy. I don't want to play the white guy because I'll never be white. I also don't want to just be the black guy. You know, they don't have a whole lot of multicultural characters. So since I have more Native American features than black features, I can't play Forge because I don't look old enough to play Forge. And I can't play Proud Star because I'm too fucking short. I can't play Moonstar because I'm not a chick. So that's not going to work either. But you know, I don't want to play Roberto. I don't want to be a Brazilian who turns jet black because that's just, like, foul. It's the same thing like when I had posted up about DC Comics and Apache Chief, you know, and Samurai. And I'm like, it hurt my feelings when I found out that they weren't really a part of the DC nation because I actually went through all comic books looking for Apache Chief. I even Googled it when I found out that he actually belonged to Hanna-Barbera and so did Samurai. Black Bolt is still questionable. And, you know, when Static Shock came out, I didn't know that Static Shock was part of DC Nation. I'm still trying to find out about Freakazoid because I'm not sure if he's DC or Marvel. I don't have any comic books with him, so I can't really tell. But, you know, I do know that Static Shock was visited by the Green Lantern, and he was visited by someone else while he was independent. And the thing about independent comics, you know, like Harbinger and Dark Horse and Eclipse and stuff like that, they do still exist in Archie's because Archie's brings you TMNT. And eventually they did have one where Splinter grew old and died with his cat and all the other stuff. I don't know if the TMNT is still going. I know the cartoons are just like kicking ass right now. But you know, when you're making comic books or when you're having a comic book thing, you know, you kind of gotta try to go as far as you can with it and see what you can push. You know, and some things you can push. You don't want to push too far because then you get readers like me who are really enjoying something, and then you push us away. So once you push us away, we have to go old school because the old school gems tend to work better than some of the new things. I'm sorry, I'm fighting things right now. So, as a reader, you know, I got another box right here. That's kind of what the camera was setting on. And lo and behold, they're mostly DC comics. Let's see what I got. Guess what? You're going to like this. You're really going to like this. You know why you're going to like this? Because I'm going to show you the first comic book that got me started reading. It's not the original first comic book when I was 3, because God only knows what the hell number that was. And I showed you the new Hex comic. But If it wasn't for this guy right here, I'd never learn how to read. I really wanted to learn how to read just because I loved Jonah Hex. I loved him so much that I took his name for quite some time. Until I found out I was partially Native American. So, this is what he used to look like. You know, he had his whole name. I think I might have put Hex back in the box that I took downstairs. But I did show it somewhere. So, he was one of the best comics, one of the best reads ever, you know. And since it was a period piece, there were like things that kind of resembled historical facts or whatever, or historical facsimiles. I guess it kind of depends on how you want to look at it and things. And, you know, Jonah Hex was not a bad superhero. However, I don't have to go that far. I have some luck tonight. There's the new Hex. This is apparently what happened when they decided to get rid of Jonah Hex. They wanted to try and save him. So, they sent him to the future. And apparently in the future there's no plastic surgery, so they couldn't fix his face. But, you know, now this guy I have never heard of, but apparently he's the son of Thunder. I have no idea who that is. Like I said, I'm more Marvel than DC, so I'm learning some of these characters. But apparently this guy is Native American. Yay, go DC. You know, and the thing about that is that there were never enough diverse characters. As I was growing up, I noticed that Marvel had more than DC, but I'm not going to knock DC because they caught up quick. You know what I'm saying? They caught up quick, especially when they turned to Green Lantern black. They started throwing things around. This guy I have no idea about at all. I've heard of him. I haven't heard of him. I don't even think I can say his name right. I think it's Aaron or Arion. I have no idea. But he kind of reminds me of Quasar, so he looks cool. I mean, looks like a rock star to me. I'm not one to question a comic book, especially if it's a good read. And if it looks good on the cover, most of the time, it's a good read. But a lot of times I used to read the comics because the covers look so cool, and I'd be waiting to find that picture in the comic. Well, it took me a long time to learn that that's not how comic books work. Because most of the time, when you see these pictures, they're never in there. They're never, ever in there. I'm going to put jackets on these. So, wondering what I'm doing. You know, remove the box top. And this is a jacket. Some of these don't have jackets. I have no idea who Johnny Thunder is. Oh, it's Joni. So that's probably a good read too. It's a chick. And one thing I will say about all comics, they were definitely lady liberal. Yeah, they didn't really discriminate against women. They did. I wouldn't really give them too much credit on like color, but they did cater a lot of female superheroes. So you can't knock that because some of the female superheroes are actually better than the male superheroes. I mean, you know, just saying. And then yeah, these jackets and everything are to keep them safe. So here's Justice League of America. That's who I mistake the Manhunter for earlier. That's John Jones, the Martian Manhunter. And Aquaman, the Business. That's the original Firestorm. I can't remember who they are. I think they're from the Legion. You know. Green Arrow, Black Canary, Aquaman, and Firestorm. As for everyone else, I have no idea who the hell they are. And, you know, like I said, Martian Manhunter, Batman, Booster Gold. I have no idea who she is, unless that's the Canary. And that's Guy Gruner, Green Lantern, that no one really likes. I'm going to put jackets on all the ones that don't have jackets. Try and get these guys in order as much as possible, so you'll see what I'll be doing for tonight. And you know, it just kind of blows my mind that, you know, if it wasn't for comic books, the last thing on my mind would be learning how to read. And I think that's what separated me from a lot of my friends. I didn't really have any friends, but these guys, I had lots of friends in lots of worlds and lots of places. And comic books, people shunned them. They shunned them a lot. But what they fail to understand is that if it wasn't for comic books, a lot of us young people wouldn't know how to read. A lot of us wouldn't be inspired. You just see a bunch of colorful pictures and you're like, well, what's that? Black Hawk is also a good DC comic. I don't think anybody in there has superpowers, but they dealt with Wonder Woman a couple of times. So it's a pretty good comic, Just kind of depends on your thing, DC also had these things called Secret Origins, just like Marvel has What Ifs. And so you have the Atom. The guy who's played Superman is now playing the Atom on Arrow, and now they're going to be on Heroes of Legends of Tomorrow. So, I think they got it mostly right, but I was pretty sure that the Atom wasn't really wearing a suit that gave him his power. But I think they dumbed it up, or dumbed it down. I guess it depends on how you want to call it. Let's see if I can find something else. Here's the All-Star Squadron. Like, every book in this box is DC. Haven't found the Marvel in this box yet. So, that's kind of strange. But, I can't really say anything bad about it. So now let me... Crap. I do have a Watchmen comic somewhere. I just don't know where it is. So, as I get ready to jacket these puppies, I want to kind of get them all into, like, maybe not counting order. Wouldn't hurt to be in counting order, because when I put them back in a box, they're gonna have to go back in the box in order. But I want to talk about another gem, Amethyst. Okay, so you have a girl in your life. Amethyst might be one of her favorite colors. So if she's into Amethyst, she might be into Amethyst cartoons too, or coloring books. She was on a short when DC would do those little shorts on the Cartoon Network, when you would see like Teen Titans or just Young Justice come up. And at the end of each show, they would give you like a 2-minute cartoon. They featured Amethyst on there with her magical flying horse and how she got her powers and all this other stuff. And it was a pretty good thing. Now, I personally have never heard of this one, so I'm going to read this as soon as I jacket them all. And when you're looking at comics, it does pay to separate the titles. Try to get them all in the same row. Maybe not by title, but by number is what I meant to say. But definitely by title. I will put them all in numeric order. And eventually, kind of want to get all the arcs to itself. I'm sure I'm not saying it right, so we'll just call him Son of Thunder. So that's like the subtitle, or the byline, or whatever you want to call it. I get all the Jonah hexes and the hexes together. Kind of don't want to put them in the same damn spot, but you get what I'm saying. For anybody who's ever adjusted comic books, it's a different kind of world, man. It's a real different world. And the thing with it is that if you can find what you like and you can go for it, that's an interesting cover. I'm gonna have to read all the hexes because I never, when Jonah Hex was canceled, I was like maybe 9, 10. I don't really remember, but I was young. So, but I never really, once I got into Marvel, I kind of left my little cowboy stage behind and wanted to be what we call superheroes instead of regular heroes. Because Jonah Hex is what you would call a hero. He didn't have any superpowers. He was just a good shot. Can't remember if he was an actual lawman or not. But, like I said, when he got canceled, they sent them into the future to call it Hex. And, depending on how you want to call it, it really is all about how far you get. Justice League of America, they had the Super Friends. Uh-oh. I hope that thing's still recording. They had the Super Friends. They had, well, it wasn't really the Super Friends, but the Super Friends was the cartoon. And you had the Justice League. And I only like really checked out Justice League every now and again. Maybe I call it annual or whatever. It really just depends. And I really did try to keep up with Teen Titans, but they kept switching things around. And for those who don't know, that's Starfire and Robin right there. You know, I actually liked the Titans more than I liked the damn adults, the Super Friends. You know, got a lot of jackets to put on tonight. This little dude here, apparently he's some kind of alchemist, I guess. I don't really know because I haven't really read him, but I'm pretty sure I will. Yeah, like I said, I still can't even pronounce his damn name. But the Warner Brothers and Disney will never really run out of source material as long as they have someone like me around who can find you a comic. If I have it, you know, they'll have the source material. So, you know, like I said, it's really all about what you find and what you know. You know, or I guess what defines them. Justice League of America and the Titans can all kind of sit on top of each other because they kind of all go together. And Amethyst, technically, she was a member of the Titans, but I think it was like in an alternate timeline or something. It kind of when you're dealing with comic books, you're dealing with a lot of things. Now, I try to say it without being violently vulgar, but yeah, you're definitely dealing with a lot of things. And the thing about comic books, you know, they aren't just adult fantasies for men; they're fantasies for everyone, women, men. Every comic book has an appeal. You just find the one that appeals to you. So, you know, like I said, I don't knock DC and I don't knock any independent. Marvel will always be my number one. No. And so, you know, I would have loved to have been a comic book artist, but I never got the chance, you know, because for some people you can draw and for some people you can't. And the people who make the big decisions are the ones who decide, well, you know, you can draw, but you can't draw good enough for us. And yeah, I did apply to try and get a drawing job once. I think my application probably got lost in the mail because Marvel never called me back. I didn't apply for DC because I really wanted to work for Marvel. I wanted to work with Todd McFarlane. I wanted to work with Rob Liefeld. Never got an opportunity, and then I decided that maybe I should become a cop. That didn't work out either because of other life events, and then I decided I want to be an actor. So I make my own movies, but I'm not really working anymore because of my hip and the doctor's inability to tell me, oh, James, you can do Kung Fu again. Plus, I need this hip fixed. So you can tell I'm in a world of hurt right now. And I'm working on a graphic novel, but I'm writing it like a story. So I need someone who could draw better than me in two styles, the American style and the Japanese style, so that I can have two versions. And I need a producer to produce it. All I have to do is finish up this last little bit of it, though, because I finished the main fights and all that crap, and it will have a happy ending. Or at least a valuable ending for me, which means it will have a happy ending. I don't do sad endings. Now, so in closing, I'm going to make one more video, and then that'll be that right there.